Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. We're going to get back on that 1966 Chevy 1-ton dually. For those of you who don't know, that is a 1966 Chevy C30 cab sitting on like a 1973 1-ton Chevy frame. So we've been kind of trying to make everything fit together and work together. Today we're going to do some more paint work. We've been painting on it, trying to make it look good on the super cheap, using nothing but rattle can spray paint, Rust-Oleum, that you could just get down at the old Walmart. So I've got this old bumper back here. It's been sitting back here for a little while, y'all. I think we got trees trying to grow up through it. So anyway, I'll get that dug out. I think that's gonna look good on there. Got it all dug out now. I'm gonna take the hose to it, get it rinsed off before I take it in the shop. I don't wanna take all that nastiness in the shop with me. All right, y'all, pardon the fan noise, man. It's like 103 outside today. Here's the bumper. What do y'all think? I think this is gonna look awesome on there, y'all. I'm trying to hold it up on the stand here. It's kind of awkward wanting to fall over, but yeah, look at that. It's got the little push bar in the front. You know, I figured with the Dukes of Hazzard style paint job we got going on over here, we need a push bar on the front, right? And let's not forget, this is actually gonna be a work truck, so that thing will actually come in handy. We're missing our headlight bezels. But check it out, I managed to locate some. I had some hanging on the wall over here and I forgot all about them, but we'll clean those up and paint those all at the same time. Okay, so on the previous videos, we've mentioned that this cab is a 1966 Chevy, but it's sitting on like a 1973 1-ton frame. And so this old 1960s bumper is not gonna fit directly onto this frame. Yeah, when I set this thing up here, there was like a gap about that wide in between this filler panel and the bumper, because these are sticking out a little bit too far. So I went ahead and trimmed this side off. You can see it used to look like that, and now it looks like that. Trim that little bit off right there, off of the end, and that seems to fix our problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this side out and get it done now. Okay, that ought to fit now. Give it a little test fit. Something like that right there ought to do it. So now that we got the bumper fitting, I want to make it look a little bit nicer. Took my little 3-inch angle grinder with a little Rolock disc on it there. These discs are really nice because they're not super abrasive, not like sandpaper or a grinding disc or anything. So what you'll end up with is something like this, where it's all nice and shiny, but no grinding marks or anything like that. Really nice. You remember, this is what it looked like a minute ago. So I'm gonna keep doing that, and I'm gonna go over the bumper a little bit more. See here, I'm just kind of working off some of that loose paint, trying to make it look a little bit smoother. That way we can put our paint on there. We're gonna paint all that white. See how you can see here, I'm just kind of working off some of that loose paint. These pads are really nice, man. They just twist right off of here. Pretty easy. Just twist right back on. You do it one-handed, pretty awesome. So anyway, I'm just gonna skim over this. So if we can get it to stay something like that there, I can get underneath it, build me some brackets. Got that side tacked in. I was noticing this side was a little bit low, so I went ahead and did some adjustments with my jack. I think we've got it pretty even. I'm kind of eyeballing it from up here, you know, and looking on both sides of it. Nice and even. I don't see anything weird going on. You guys let me know if you see something better than I do. That looks pretty dang straight to me. I'm gonna go with it. Okay, so I got her all welded up. We'll get the jack out of the way now. Don't need that anymore. Now we'll get in here, we'll wrap it up, we'll throw some plastic on it and get this spray painted, make it look nice. I know what you think. Why didn't you paint it before you put it on? I didn't want to burn up my new paint. You see where I had to do the welding? Kind of burnt that up. I'll have to take some sandpaper, feather all that back, get all the old burnt paint off of it. But yeah, that's the reason I didn't paint it beforehand. I wanted to put it up here, and while it was up here, get my brackets in, get them welded where they need to be, and just get it done. None of this on and off, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we got. I'll work that off, like I said, with a little bit of sandpaper. We'll wrap it up with some plastic, and we'll make this look as good as the rest of it. Alrighty, y'all, got everything all welded up, and I'm gonna do a little painting on the bumper. We're using the same exact spray paint that we used on the rest of the truck, except obviously instead of orange, we're using white. And I went ahead and threw a little plastic on the truck, keep the overspray off. Yeah, we showed the plastic in a previous video. This is 3M plastic, you guys. This is really good stuff. The cool thing about it is you can get your overspray on it, and you can come back and do your second coat, and you don't have to worry about that overspray flicking off onto your paint surface, which is what will happen if you use the cheap stuff. So this is really good stuff. A lot of people tell me, oh, you need to run paper up to your plastic, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to do that with this. I'm telling you, I've used it for years and years professionally in a paint and body shop. Never had a problem with it, not one time. So don't worry about it. Use the 3M. That's the good stuff. Unsponsored, by the way. They're not paying me to say that. I'm just telling you what I've learned over the years. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and start hitting this up with a little bit of the white. I think this thing is going to look really cool on here, man, once we get it all painted and looking good like that front grille is. That thing looks so much better than it did before we started this little shindig. Really happy the way this is turning out. Had some people comment worried that the paint is going to fade, that orange paint, because we didn't clear coat it, but that's okay. We don't care if it fades on this particular project because we're trying to make this truck look old, but just nicer, you know what I mean? I don't want this to look like a new paint job. I think I probably mentioned that a million times, and here's why. If you don't go through all the steps to make it look really good, I'm talking the priming, the blocking, all of that, like we did on that one over there, 500 hours into that car doing rust repair, body damage, you know, any kind of panels that had to be cut out and replaced due to rust. There were plenty of them, the rocker panels, everything. It all had to be redone. That's what makes a paint job look good. If you don't do all of that and then you go and you paint it, it's gonna be cheesy looking, man. It's gonna look very amateurish. So we don't want that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna age the paint job and just make it look like a paint job that survived all of these years with just normal, you know, paint fade, things like that, little scratches here and there, what have you. Just normal wear and tear, but not cheesy. You see what I'm saying? This thing had a cheesy paint job on it that looked like Barney. I mean, that was the exact color. If you didn't see those videos, go check them out, and you'll see why we decided to do this, man. This looks 100 times better, but again, I don't want it to be super shiny because all it's going to do is show up all those dents and all of that, and it's just not going to look good. There was a few spots here and there where things didn't get feathered back, maybe some chips or what have you got painted over, and we want to kind of hide all of that, and you won't hide that when you spray a shiny paint job on it. I mean, it just magnifies everything. So we will be going back. I might have mentioned it before, and we're actually going to dull that paint job down just slightly so that it's not super shiny and it doesn't look brand new. So basically what I'm trying to say is we don't want this to look like an old truck that we drug out and sent it down to Mako and they just sprayed over everything. You see what I'm saying? So to hide some of that, we're just going to kind of age it just slightly, and then it'll look like something that might have been painted like 30 years ago and it's still decent. You see what I'm saying? Something like that. Or better yet, maybe it'll look like kind of an original paint job that's just survived all of these years with just normal wear and tear. Got my headlight bezels over here. I'm gonna hit these up with a little bit of etch primer. This will help the paint stick to that bare metal. I worked these things all the way down to the bare metal. It was pretty easy. I just used a wire wheel. So we'll just dust a little bit of this on there. Sometimes paint has a little bit of difficulty sticking to bare metal. Even though you've sanded it and did all that, sometimes it just doesn't like it. So this primer, it's an etch primer, etches itself right into the bare metal, and then your paint will stick to it after that. After that etch primer dries, you just go right back over it with your paint, and you should be good to go. Nothing to it. But yeah, that primer will just give us a little added insurance that our paint's not going to peel off later, especially being that this is on the front of the truck. It's going to take a beating, you know, rocks and dirt and all that. But yeah, anyway, we're just out here having fun. So for everybody that's all worked up thinking that this paint job's not going to last because it came out of a spray can, I get it. I totally understand. You could go back and clear coat this truck, and that would offer superior paint protection because you get all your protection from the clear coat. The paint itself, not so much. But, you know, this is Rust-Oleum. This is good stuff. I don't think that paint's going to really have much problem, to be honest. But here's the deal, man. Something I might not have let you guys in on. This is a work truck that's going to take a beating. I mean, that's putting it mildly, you guys. This thing is going to take an absolute pounding from it's going on a construction site. That's where this truck is headed. The guy dropped it off to me, and he just wanted me to get it running and driving and stopping, and I figured, you know what? Let's have a little bit of fun with it. Why not? YouTube, all that. Let's have some fun. So that's what we're doing. That's all we're doing. We're just having some fun for you guys. My work is actually done. I mean, it runs, it drives, and it stops. But I'm just doing all this for you guys, just to show y'all that you can have fun with these old things. You don't have to break the bank. You don't have to refinance the house, any of that kind of stuff. You can have some fun with these stuff on the cheap. And the thing is you don't have to buy an air compressor. You don't have to do all the mixing. I know that intimidates people a lot of times, trying to mix paint, and they're worried that they're not going to get it right, and it's going to get on there and it's going to peel off later, or it's not going to get hardened up. Have you guys ever done a paint job and then go back and it never dried? Been there, done that, man. And you don't really know what you did wrong, man. Did you not put enough hardener in it? Was it a bad batch of catalyst? You don't know. And it could be a nightmare. It could be intimidating for somebody that's never done it before. So I thought I would show you guys another way. I mean, you can buy this stuff 1 can at a time, 5 cans at a time, whatever your budget allows. You get enough of it, and you do yourself a paint job, you know. And no air compressors, no paint guns, no paint mixing, no nothing. And look, this thing is turning out awesome, man. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, it's going to fade. It's not going to hold up. You should never do that. What, dude, we're having fun. Whatever, man. Just whatever. Yeah, I was kind of afraid to tell you guys that, to be honest. I know some of you guys will get kind of heartbroken at the idea of this thing ending up on a construction site and just getting beat on by laborers and people that just don't care about it. It's a shame. It's really too nice of a truck for that. Maybe we could talk the old boy into not doing that with it. I don't know. It's his truck. You can do whatever he wants to with it. But I know this guy personally, and I know that the truck that this truck is replacing has been rode into the ground. I'm talking the door fell off of it at one point. We had to weld it back on. All kinds of craziness. I mentioned it on a previous video in case you missed it, but this is going to get a big flatbed on it with a big winch and all kinds of stuff. Because like I said, it's going on a construction site. But it's going to look good when it leaves here. That's all that counts, man. She's getting the weird beard treatment nonetheless. I think we're doing a great job on it so far. I don't care what anybody says. And no worries, there was only one guy that had something to say about it. And you know what? There's always got to be that one guy, I swear. All right, paint is dry. Let's get the masking off, see what it looks like. Crack into it first. And we ran our plastic up inside of there. This is all starting to come together, y'all. I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. Well, I guess we need to install our bezels next, but before I do that, I need to get down to the parts store and get some headlights. I don't know, man. You guys leave me a comment. I think that fits the truck perfectly, being that it's a 1-ton, it's a work truck. I don't think we went wrong. I think this is going to look cool with some fog lamps in here. Look, I don't know if I showed y'all that earlier, but you could put fog lamps in there. I think some small round ones up inside of the hole would be just perfect for this. Went ahead and popped the wheels loose. I'm going to take these outside, get them cleaned up. We'll bring them back in, scuff them down, and we'll spray those next. Okay, so the wheels are all washed up. While they're drying, I think I'll come in and hit this up with some Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer. Instantly converts rust to a protected paintable surface. So we'll hit all this up here before we put the wheels back on. I think that'll be a step in the right direction, kind of make this stuff look a little bit better. And this will pop against that black wheel. You know what I mean? That'll be kind of cool. So I've been in here working with a little wire wheel on my angle grinder. Get these down at Harbor Freight. They're really cheap, and they do a pretty good job. You can see here where we've already kind of been cleaning up this side over here, and then this is what it used to look like. So it does a good job getting all that old loose, scaly rust and stuff off. Now when we're done with this, we'll skim over it with a little bit of sandpaper, and then it should be about ready to paint. Okay, so we're done with the wire wheel. I'm just kind of skimming over it now with a piece of 320 grit sandpaper. Got it wrapped around a piece of Scotch-Brite, just kind of using that as an interface pad. Works pretty good. We'll go over this whole thing. Don't have to get too carried away. Got it all worked off real good with that wire wheel. This will help our paint stick a little better. Get those sand and scratches in there, you know. I want to go around inside all these little circles. Go around inside of here. But yeah, I'll just go over this whole thing, and then we'll wipe it down with some acetone, blow it off with the air hose. And then we got a little bit of masking we're gonna have to do. These tires are getting replaced. I don't really care about them, but you know, for you guys, for camera's sake, we won't do the overspray. I'll actually tape these off, even though we are going to throw them in the trash later. Alright, so we're done with the sanding. Let's get this cleaned up a little bit. I got me a lint-free paper towel here. We'll hit it up with a little bit of this acetone. It's going to work really well for cleaning up the surface, getting it ready for paint. Wheels get pretty dirty. We'll finish this up with a good wipe of our glass cleaner, our spray-away glass cleaner. We like to use that right before we paint. Works really well. And that'll be our final wipe with the glass cleaner. This right here is just to get off the really bad stuff. I mean, look at that. That spray-away glass cleaner is awesome, but it ain't gonna get all that off there. So we go to the acetone instead. Get this down at Walmart. It's cheap. It's not too bad. Wear your gloves when you do this. Don't be stupid like me. Yeah, this is gonna clean this up really nice. And then, like I said, that glass cleaner we'll use it as kind of a little final wipe right before we spray our paint. Yeah, because you can see how dirty that is. That's pretty bad. Old dirty, rusty metal, you know. It's a wheel. What do you expect? It's taken a beating over the years. But we're about to make it look like brand new. Take that same acetone and wipe it around the tire before you put your tape on. Make your tape stick way better. Yeah, the tape is sticking awesome, man. So that's the way to go. Clean that tire off real good if you're actually going to use the tires, I guess. So just about done with the tape. I've seen guys use Post-it notes for this, man. That seems to work pretty good. I don't have any at the moment, but I tell you what, cleaning that tire with that acetone sure does make that tape stick really nice. Okay, so we're all masked off. I've already went ahead and hit it with my self-etch primer. We had a little bit of that bare metal going, so figured we would go ahead and cover that up. Now that that's dry, I usually let it sit for about 15 minutes or so. And you only want like a light dusting of that primer. It doesn't take much. You don't want to build up layers or anything like that. You just want to get it on there, and that's it. And like I said, about 15-20 minutes or so, it's ready to paint over. You don't have to go back and sand it or anything. That stuff, I believe it has acid in it, and it helps it just etch to that bare metal, because regular paint doesn't like to just go straight over bare metal. So anyway, just a little added insurance we've been using throughout this project, kind of help things stick a little bit better. But you only need the self-etching primer on the bare metal spots only. You don't have to go over the whole thing. So that takes care of the front wheel. I've got the inner wheel over here for the back. It's already painted, ready to go. I'm going to get that unmasked and back on the truck. You can see here where we went ahead and did the rust proofing there. We did the same thing on the front as well. Just kind of rust proofing it as we go. Or rust converting, I guess I should say. Supposedly that stuff converts the rust over into a paintable surface, and all you got to do really is just kind of go through and kind of wire brush a lot of the loose scaly rust off, and that's it. I painted both sides of that, by the way, for anybody wondering. Check it out. Look at that. Nice. Look, we even spray painted the lug nuts. Look at that, we got them black, looking nice. Man, I love the way that black centerpiece pops against these white wheels. That is a really, really good look. We'll get this all buttoned up and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Hey, I put a little bit of masking tape inside my socket, kind of help keep us from knocking the paint right back off of these lug nuts. That'd be a shame, wouldn't it? Maybe that'll help us out just a little bit. So I'll go ahead and get this buttoned up. We'll move on to the front. We'll get that front wheel back on. We'll show you guys. We'll stand back and show everybody what it looks like. How about that? So I've got a set of these aluminum wheels out here. I was thinking about putting those on instead, just shine them up real good, you know, with some aluminum polish or what have you. There's the centerpiece that goes to it. Got a full set of chrome lug nuts and everything that goes to it. Those things will shine up like chrome if you work them hard enough. You guys leave me a comment, man. I was thinking about putting those on, and then I got to messing around with those other ones. Man, I was thinking those white wheels kind of fit the truck a little bit better as far as the looks go. Since we did white grill, white bumpers, all, you know, white mirrors, everything, it just seemed like it kind of tied it all together a little bit better. You guys leave me a comment, let me know. You guys want to see me shine those wheels up and put those on instead, or maybe just to see what it looks like, kind of a comparison or what have you. So I don't know, I'm kind of sold on the white ones, to be honest with you. Those white wheels just kind of, just has kind of an old school, kind of a farm truck kind of a look. I'm sold on it. You'd be kind of hard pressed to talk me out of those, but I'm still interested, man. You guys let me know. Aluminum or the steel wheels that are already on it. Okay, back to our front wheel. Let's get this unmasked so we can get this on the truck, see what it looks like, man. So far, we are doing good. This thing is looking like $1 million compared to what we started off with. Look at that. I love it. I love fresh paint, the whole unmasking process. It's like Christmas, man, you know? So I'll finish getting this off here, but man, doesn't that look good though? Look at that. I'm loving it. Got a little bit of tape trying to fight me there, but we'll get it all off. So yeah, man, you see what I mean? Look how that all ties together with that front grille, that bumper. It's a really good look, man. I'm sold on it. Go back here, check out the back wheels. Look at that. I am just sold on that. You'd be hard pressed to talk me out of those, but hey, I'm still interested in what you guys think. So hey, back onto the paint here as far as the orange goes. Some of you guys might notice that it looks like, it kind of looks a little different from here to here, doesn't it? Well, that's because I've already been going through and dulling this down to make it not quite so shiny. You see how we're really shiny there, and then over here, it just slightly, I don't even know if the camera's picking it up very good, but it's just slightly aged. Kind of has a little bit of a faded back look to it. Almost a semi-gloss, if you will. And that's kind of the look I'm going for. I don't want it to be super shiny. To me, this is all way too shiny. I don't like it. Yeah, all I do is just take my Scotch-Brite, just go back and forth like this, just like if we were trying to sand it back down. We're not going to get too carried away because all I'm wanting to do is just barely knock the shine off of it. I think we're getting it. I may go back and do just a little bit more. You can still see, still pretty shiny, but you can kind of see where we kind of just knocked that gloss back just a little bit. So I'll keep working on this and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about when we're done with it. Some of you guys were hell bent on me not aging it as far as doing patina, you know, fake patina and all that. I personally don't mind fake patina. I think it's a pretty cool look. Some of you guys think it's just been played out and overdone over the years, and I get that. I get that, but for something like this, man, it would fit it. It would totally fit it just to come back through, just kind of burn through on all these upper surfaces that the sun just beats down on, you know? And then like all of this would just stay the same. We'd just dull it down like we're doing, but up here we would actually burn through just around the edges. And then you go back and you clear over it to kind of seal it all off. But we're gonna do this instead. I don't think we're gonna age it. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to. I'm just gonna do this right here just to kind of knock the shine off of it a little bit. I'll do some more to it. The video's getting kind of long, and we'll focus some more of that on the next video. Can y'all see there where we're kind of dull and then kind of a little shinier? That's all we're doing, man. And in my opinion, that actually makes it look pretty decent. I don't mind it one bit. I think it looks better than just being full gloss, because when it's full gloss like that, it just kind of looks like a cheesy, cheap paint job, and we're not wanting to do that. We want it to look like an old paint job. I know I'm beating a dead horse, and I've said it a million times. We want it to look like an old paint job. Okay, I'm gonna try not to say that anymore. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna do some more of that off camera. I got to get down to the parts store to get those headlights, so we get those in, because kind of sucks having everything all nice and painted and incomplete like that. So we'll get that going. We got some more wiring that we got to do. We're trying to spare you guys some of the wiring stuff because I know it's super boring, but we do have a wiring harness on the way. We'll tie all that in and get past all that. And that's really about all we got left to do to this thing besides build a really cool flatbed for it. So you guys, we're not done with it quite just yet. We'll do some more videos on it, but hey man, we are off to a great start with it, I think. I'm loving the way it looks. I think we nailed that two-tone, man. And that bumper, it just fits that truck so well, man. I am loving that. I'm glad I had that laying around. I'm hoping to inspire some of you guys to get out there and work on some of your old cars that you might have just sitting around, that you're convinced that you're going to have to break the bank to do anything to. We hardly have any money into this so far, hardly at all. In fact, I would go as far as to say I probably don't even have $250, $300 into this so far, and we've already went through the brakes. We've done brake hoses. We did the master cylinder. We replaced it, all brand new stuff. You know, all this paint work, all the wire, everything that we've done to it. We don't even have a few $100s into it so far, and we're about to. I mean, this thing already runs and drives and stops and everything, so it's about to be roadworthy for just a few $100, and it looks cool. We don't even have to run it out of here looking like an old rust bucket with a really that paint job was terrible. If you missed it, go back and watch the videos. It looked like Barney the dinosaur. Horrible, horrible paint job. We've come a million miles since then, I think. So anyway, I hope to inspire you guys and let you know that you don't have to break the bank to do this stuff. You can come up with something that's decent at least for super cheap. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here for now. You guys, I do appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to see y'all in the next one.